This question appeared in INI-CET November 2021 and it asks about which of the following poisoning agent does not inhibit cytochrome oxidase. By cytochrome oxidase, your options are hydrogen sulfide, carbon monoxide, methane and cyanide. This is basically a question on inhibitors of electron transport chain. Again, it's a very important topic. Let's look at the theory of electron transport chain inhibitors. So this is the diagrammatic representation of electron transport chain. We know it is made up of 4 complexes. So this is your complex 1, this is your complex 2, this is your complex 3 and this is your complex 4. Okay. So when NADH brings hydrogen ions, it brings it to complex 1. However, when FADH2 brings the hydrogen, it brings to complex 2. Will you remember? So NADH brings, it brings to complex 1. When FADH brings, it brings to FADH2. Now what happens is, we know that from complex 1, with the help of cytochrome Q, the hydrogen ions is transferred to the second complex. Again from second complex, it is transferred to complex 3, again using cytochrome Q. From 3 to 4, it is moved using cytochrome C. Okay. So let's look at the names of these complexes, because as we have seen many times in the options, they will not give complex 1, complex 2, complex 3, complex 4, but they can also give you the name of these complexes. So let's look at the first. So first is very simple. So the first is NADH, dehydrogenase. Okay. So complex 1 is called as NADH dehydrogenase. What about complex 2? So complex 2 is called as succinate dehydrogenase. Okay. Complex 3. So complex 3 is called as cytochrome C reductase. There is another name for complex 3 and that is also called as cytochrome B C1 oxidoreductase. Okay. So these are the 2 names of complex 3. Let's talk about complex 4. So complex 4 we called as cytochrome C oxidase. So all the complex 4 names you have remembered. Complex 1 is called as NADH dehydrogenase. Complex 2 is called as succinate dehydrogenase. Complex 3 is called as either cytochrome C reductase or cytochrome BC1 oxidoreductase. And complex 4 is called as cytochrome C oxidase. And this name is essentially based on whether who is supplying the hydrogen or who is taking the oxygen. Okay. So let's look at the inhibitors. Now complex 1, it's very easy. So it's complex 1. So all the inhibitors will have O. So complex 1 inhibitors, all the inhibitors will have ONE or 1 in that. For example, let's talk about the first inhibitor, phenobarbital. So you see all the phenobarbital has ONE in that. So it is complex 1 inhibitors. Also another barbiturate which you will remember is amobarbitone or amobarbita. Again, it's having ONE1 in that. So it's a complex 1 inhibitor. The second is rotenone. So rotenone, again ONE1. So it's a complex 1 inhibitor. Next is pyridine A. So again, pyridine A, very simple. If it is A, then which means 1. So it's a complex 1 inhibitors. All complex 1 inhibitors, can you remember very easily? Let's look at complex 2 inhibitors. Okay. So one is succinate. We know it is called as succinate dehydrogenase. So what is a competitive inhibitor of succinate dehydrogenase? So remember, malonate. And this is in general a very important high yield point. Succinate dehydrogenase, malonate acts as a competitive inhibitor. Let's look at other complex 2. So complex 2, which means B. So one will be carboxym. Okay. B and TTSA. See, you have two T's. So again, it's a complex 2 inhibitor. Easy to remember in examination. You will not get confused. So complex 2 inhibitors. First is because it is called a succinate dehydrogenase. We know from our biochemistry that malonate is a competitive inhibitor for succinate dehydrogenase. So malonate is one and carboxyl and TTFA. Let's look at complex 3 inhibitors. Complex 3 inhibitors. So again, 3 letter A, M, A and BAL. British antileoside and antimycin A. Both of these are complex 3 inhibitors. Again, 3 letter word AMA and BAL. BAL is British antileoside. AMA is antimycin A. Both of these are complex 3 inhibitors. Let's look at complex 4 inhibitors. So all the complex 4 inhibitors has IDE in their ending. So let's look at the most important. Cyanide, you see there is an IDE at the end of complex 4 inhibitors. Let's look at next. Carbon monoxide. Again, you can see IDE at the end. The third is hydrogen sulfide. Again, IDE at the end. And sodium azide. Again, IDE in it. So all the complex 4 inhibitors will have IDE at the end. So these are about complex inhibitors, complex 1, complex 2, complex 3, complex 4. Apart from this, again from electron transport chain, you have to know two other important inhibitors. So the first is ATP synthase. So there are two inhibitors which will inhibit ATP synthesis. Okay. So the first one is oligomycin and the second one is atractoside. Now, what is the mechanism by which oligomycin inhibits the ATP synthesis? It inhibits the entry of hydrogen ion. Okay. It inhibits the entry of hydrogen ion. How does atractoside inhibits? So it inhibits the transporter. So transporter, that ADP transporter is there that will push ATP, the formed ATP out of the mitochondria and put the ADP inside the mitochondrial matrix. So that transporter is inhibited. So these are the two inhibitors of ATP synthesis. Another very, very important class, very frequently asked in MCQ, is a class of inhibitors for electron transport that we call as uncouplers. Okay. So what is this uncoupler? We know that when the electron is moving from complex 1 to complex 2, complex 2 to complex 3, at those processes, hydrogen, energy is not being generated. What happens is, that suppose this is your mitochondria and this is the inner mitochondrial membrane. And as electron is passing, what essentially does it? Pushes out hydrogen ion. And we have learned about the chemoosmotic theory that this hydrogen ion, when it returns back through the ATP synthase, it generates the energy. Imagine a situation that this hydrogen ion, this inner mitochondrial membrane, is impermeable to hydrogen ions. So hydrogen ion cannot directly come back. It has to come back through ATP synthase. Imagine a situation where this inner mitochondrial membrane becomes permeable to hydrogen ion. Okay? Permeable to hydrogen ion. So all the hydrogen ion which is being pumped out can enter back without going through the ATP synthase. Okay? So if the hydrogen ion is coming back through ATP synthase, then it will produce energy. But imagine, so let's say this is the inner mitochondrial wall and this is your ATP synthase. If the hydrogen ion is coming from here, it will produce ATP. But let's say it can enter from here. Because ATP synthase is not there, due to some inhibitors, it has become porous. So it will directly enter into it, but it will not produce energy. So what will it will produce? All this movement of hydrogen ion will produce heat. So uncouplers, very interestingly, they are a part of our physiological mechanism also. So we have something called as physiological uncouplers and pathological, which means some chemicals which can also do the uncoupling. So what are the important physiological uncouplers? So free fatty acids or brown fat can be a very important physiological uncoupler. Then hormone like thyroxine. Third, you can also be thinking of thermogenin. This works on uncoupling protein 1. So these three are very important physiological uncouplers. Okay. What is pathological uncouplers? So because they will cause reversible uncoupling. Okay. What are pathological uncouplers? So very important here, 2,4 dinitrophenol. DNP, do not produce, you can remember it, do not produce energy. So 2,4 DNP, dinitrophenol, is a very, very important pathological uncoupler. Another important pathological uncoupler is aspirin. Okay, aspirin in high dose will cause a lot of fever because of this uncoupling effect. And the last important again is valinomycin. So a lot of questions have been asked on this single slide. And if you know this, probably in every exam, either it is INI-CET, NEET PG, FMG, you will be able to answer that single question. So complex 1 inhibitors, complex 2 inhibitors, complex 3 inhibitors, complex 4 inhibitors, ATP synthesis inhibitors, and uncouplers. All these are very important part of your exam questions. Now, electron transport chain inhibitors we have seen in detail. So we know that cytochrome oxidase is basically complex 4. Okay, so it's cytochrome C oxidase, so complex 4, and we know by now that all the complex 4 inhibitors will have IDE at the end. So this is a complex 4 inhibitor, this is a complex 4 inhibitor, this is a complex 4 inhibitor. So the correct answer here will be